What's going on, everybody? This is Island Hopper TV, and today we're going to show you over 30 of the best islands in the world. As always, there will be timestamps below so you can go from island to island. First up, we're starting out here in French Polynesia. This here is Tahiti. Now in Tahiti, you have two main areas to go, Bora Bora being the most popular with honeymooners who are looking for a romantic getaway with these overwater bungalows. And then there is Moorea, which is another equally amazing place to explore while here in Tahiti. It is actually the largest island in the Windward group of the Society Islands. It's rich in culture, history, and traditional dance. Definitely try to get some music for the Tahitian life. Next up, we're headed to the Balearic Islands out here in the Mediterranean. This is going to include Mallorca, Ibiza, Formentera, and the island of Menorca. Now out here, you're going to find beautiful beaches, crystal clear waters, especially in Formentera. The main capital is going to be Palma, which is on Mallorca, which is also a very family-friendly island. Now, if you go to Ibiza, you'll notice it's more of the party scene with nightclubs such as Ushuaia. Next up, we're headed to the Maldives. This tropical paradise is located in the Indian Ocean just south of India and Sri Lanka. It's famous for its many different atolls. There's over 26 and 1,000 coral islands, white sandy beaches, crystal clear water, some of the clearest water you'll see anywhere in the world. And they also have those overwater bungalows, making it popular with people seeking a romantic getaway. Underwater activities such as scuba diving are very popular here. Maldives has actually made a name for itself as a successful ecotourism destination. Next up, we're headed to Seychelles. Located just off the coast of Madagascar and Africa in the Indian Ocean, it has 115 islands, many of which are actually uninhabited, but here you will find stunning beaches, turquoise waters, rich marine wildlife, and the capital here is called Victoria on the island of Mahé. Now, here you will also have more of that honeymooner, romantic vibe that you get on some of the islands in Tahiti and Maldives. Next up, we're headed to the Azores, an archipelago volcanic island chain here in the Atlantic Ocean. It's actually 1,500 kilometers from Lisbon, and it is a part of Portugal. The largest island here is known as São Miguel, and the capital city of Ponta Delgado. You will find lush volcano slopes with waterfalls, as you can see right here. Here's a look at a caldera. Also colorful markets, colorful villages, unique historical architecture. Really a beautiful place, and lots of whales come here. Next up, we're headed to Galapagos. This is just off the coast of Ecuador in the Pacific Ocean. This is where Darwin created his theory of evolution. You'll see a lot of different marine wildlife, flamingos, the blue-footed booby, and if you go underwater, you'll see a lot of marine mammals and wildlife. It is also a volcanic island chain. The majority of the islands are a part of the Galapagos National Park, but if you wanted to know, the most popular islands are called Santa Cruz, San Cristobal, and Florina. Next up, we're headed to Fiji, out here in the Pacific Ocean. With more than 330 islands, the two largest islands being Vita Levu and Vanu Levu, accounting for over 85% of the total land area. So many of these smaller islands around Fiji are very unique, uninhabited islands that you can explore and really come in contact with some stunning natural beauty, obviously crystal waters, white sand beaches, and lush tropical rainforest. As we continue to show you around, I want to let you know, if you check the description below, we did make 2 videos about 50 destinations around the world that you should add to your bucket list, so do check that. Now we're headed to Palawan, an island in the Philippines archipelago. Now this one is home to El Nido, Coron, San Vicente, which are now a part of the new 7 Wonders of the World. There's also a Palawan peacock pheasant that you'll see here, along with a Philippine mouse deer. It has become a very popular tourist destination for those people seeking budget-friendly paradises. Palawan definitely made the list over the last few years, and they even say that you can swim with whale sharks here. So many beautiful islands in Southeast Asia, including Raja Ampat. Located in West Papua, Indonesia, it is considered one of the final Edenic locations on Earth, where you can go to see real live coral, covered in lush rainforests, surrounded by crystal clear waters. Over 1,500 fish species and 600 species of coral are right here in this very biodiverse marine environment. And we're staying in Southeast Asia. This time we're coming to you from Singapore, a small island city-state located at the tip of the Malaysian peninsula. Considered a global hub of finance, here you will find a very smart city. It is a city of the future that is popular with tourists from all over the world. I would say 2 to 3 days in Singapore is perfect. Definitely try some of the unique cuisine from all over the world. Now we're headed to the Caribbean. This one is Jamaica. Jamaica is known for its reggae music, vibrant culture, and beautiful beaches, as well as the lush tropical rainforest around there. It's also the third largest island in the Caribbean, home to over 2.9 million people. While here, try some of the local cuisine like jerk chicken, as well as saltfish, ackee, and curry goat. So definitely get out there and explore the Blue Lagoon, some of the rivers, and of course the waterfalls. Next up, we're in St. Lucia, staying here in the Caribbean. This is also a romantic getaway for honeymooners, but you can also go here and experience the natural beauty of the pitons and some of the natural habitat. Now, I want to mention the 2 twin peaks of the Piton volcanoes. Those are a UNESCO World Heritage Site where people like to do hiking and sightseeing around this volcanic jungle. On our way to Sri Lanka out here in South Asia in the Indian Ocean, it is just south of India with a population of 21 million people. Here you will find a very rich ancient civilization dating all the way back 2,500 years, but it has been heavily influenced by India, Arabia, Portuguese, Dutch, and British, and they have many wild animals like peacocks and elephants, just to name a few. Here we are on the big island of Hawaii. Now there are several different islands in Hawaii, but we chose to really highlight the big island of the main island. They have Kailua Kona, which has the beaches, and then they have Hilo side, which has the rainforest and the jungles with many different waterfalls on that side of the island. And they're also home to the biggest volcano and the largest mountain from seafloor to summit. They also have many luxury resorts around Waikoloa. You can also swim with manta rays, and sometimes dolphins will come up to you while you're out there. Also popular with deep sea fishing. And you must absolutely check out Hawaii Volcanoes National Park. Also, if you can, get over to the island of Maui or Kauai, exploring more of the Hawaiian Islands. Next up, we're in Australia, just south of the main island. This is Tasmania, a very unique island because of its proximity to Antarctica, but it's still far enough north to where it's green and lush and not too much like an Arctic environment. Here you can also find some unique animals like the Tasmanian devil, explore around Hobart, or go to the north side of the island. Now we are in Aruba, home to 106,000 people, known as Arubianos. This is actually a part of the ABC island chain. That's Aruba, Bonaire, and Curacao. A lot of people think Aruba is a tropical island, but it's not. It's a desert island. While here you can hang out on beaches like Baby Beach, Eagle Beach. Go to the popular tourist area known as Palm Beach. There's also the California Lighthouse. Now we're actually headed to the Bahamas. With over 700 islands and cays with inlets in this archipelago, it is one of the islands known for the clearest water you will see anywhere. So if you really like translucent blue water on these deserted beaches, you're gonna get that. Some of the most popular areas to go are Bimini, New Providence, and Grand Bahama. You can easily get here from Fort Lauderdale by ferry. Next up, we're headed to the Faroe Islands. This is a self-governing territory of Denmark located in the North Atlantic Ocean, consisting of 18 islands. 53,000 people live here, and they consider themselves Faroese or Danish. While here you can explore the rich local culture of the seafaring people of the North Atlantic. Dating back more than thousands of years, people have been inhabiting these islands. But check out this lake on top of the cliffs, which actually cascades into a waterfall. Now we're headed to Dominican Republic. With the second largest population in all of the Caribbean, just behind Cuba with 10.8 million people, some of the popular places people like to go are the capital, which is Santo Domingo. That's where you're going to have the oldest city in the Americas and some history. But then if you want the beaches, you're going to go to Punta Cana, which is on the far east side of the island. And then in the north, you have beautiful places like Puerto Plata, Samana, Las Terrenas. So really an amazing place. Also consider going to Isla Salwana near La Romana. The other half of the island belongs to Haiti. Now we're actually headed to the Greek islands out here in the Aegean Sea. The big ticket here with the Greek islands, you want to check out Santorini, Mykonos, Naxos, Paros, so many different islands. Also, some favorites that people go to are going to be Crete and Rhodes. We actually made a full video about the Greek islands, which you can click in the link below if you wanted to watch that now. Now let's talk about Thailand and the many islands they have. So if you go to the Andaman Sea, you're gonna have Phi Phi Island, you're gonna have other islands around Krabi, like Hong Island, so many different islands in Thailand, you'd be surprised. And then if you go across the way to the Gulf of Thailand, you have places like Koh Samui, Koh Tao, and the full moon island of Koh Phanong. And then if you go to the very north, you're going to have even more islands up there near Pattaya Beach, like Koh Kud, Koh Rong, and Koh Samet. But if I had to pick two to start, I would recommend Phuket or Koh Samui. Here we are in Bermuda, a British overseas territory in the North Atlantic Ocean. It's about 620 miles east of the United States, so it's quite far out there. It's not quite in the Caribbean either. It does consist of 138 islands. By the way, it's closer to being off the coast of South Carolina than Florida. Approximately 64,000 people live here. I would say it's definitely one of the most underrated, beautiful places you will go for islands if you want a laid-back experience, crystal clear blue waters, pink and white sand beaches. Here we are at Easter Island, also known as Rapa Nui. It is a remote island that is actually 2,300 miles west of Chile. Here you will find these moai statues, very large. It's also a volcanic island. If you wanted to get here, you're going to have to process immigration in Santiago or somewhere in Chile and then catch a connection flight here to this island known as Rapa Nui or Easter Island. It is an extremely remote island, but the thing that's most interesting about this is these ancient statues, so much history to take in while you are here. Much of what you're seeing here actually still remains a mystery to this day about who carved these. Next up, we're headed to the Atlantic Ocean. This time we're in the Canary Islands. The Canary Islands actually sit off the coast of Africa near Morocco, but they belong to Spain. So it's a Spanish archipelago of 2.2 million people. The official language here is going to be Spanish. Some of the popular places here is Las Palmas and Gran Canaria, as well as Tenerife. As with the Azores, these are a volcanic island chain, similar to the one that's just a further south than here called Cape Verde. So you get these unique islands out here in the Atlantic. If you can get to any of them, consider yourself lucky. Now we're headed back to the Philippines. This time we're in Boracay. This was actually rated by one publication as the best island in the world. It's a very popular tourist destination, but 32,000 people do live here, even though it's an extremely small island. But you will find crystal clear waters, a vibrant nightlife, and many different activities to do. It is a tropical beach destination with amazing sunsets. As we keep this tour going around the world's islands, I would like to let you guys know that we've launched a channel memberships program where you can actually support this channel with 99 cents per month. And what that means is you're going to be getting highlighted in the comments. So when you ask a question, you're more likely to get responded to. And now we are in the south of Italy in Sicily, which is the largest island in the Mediterranean Sea with a population of over 5 million people, making it also the most populous island in all of Italy, but not the only one. Also home to an active volcano known as Mount Etna. Many picturesque villages exist here, and actually something a lot of people don't know is Sicily is much cheaper than the rest of northern Italy, so that's a good thing. Plus, while here, you can check out the wine scene, and they do have many luxury resorts and budget-friendly hotels for people to stay at. Going back to the Caribbean, this time we're at the U.S. Virgin Islands. You also have the British Virgin Islands nearby, but this one's easy to get into if you're an American because it is an unincorporated U.S. territory. Here you can find Charlotte Amalie, which is the main town where the airport is, and then you can island hop to one of the several popular islands like St. Thomas is where you start, and then you go to St. John, and you can also get over to St. Croix, but there's many different little islands in between, and if you really wanted to, you could easily process immigration into the British Virgin Islands. I would recommend 5 to 7 days here if you can stay that long. Now we're headed to Cozumel. This is actually down by the Yucatan of Mexico in the area known as Riviera Maya, but the state is called Quintana Roo. If you wanted to get here, you would simply hop on a ferry from Playa del Carmen, or you can catch a direct flight into the airport here on Cozumel. And they have a small town, but you can take a rental buggy across the island where the beaches are. The town is called San Miguel de Cozumel, but I don't recommend going there too much. It's an alright town. You want to get to Playa El Cielo, Punta Sur Eco Beach Park, Zona Arqueological El Caracol, that whole area right there. Headed back to the Mediterranean. This time we're in Sardinia. This is the second largest island in the Mediterranean, known for its crystal clear blue waters, rugged coastline, and unique ancient ruins, some of the museums and traditional festivals here. This is actually one of the islands where people on Earth live to be centenarians. It means they live over 100 years old. There are 1.6 million people who live here. Ancient civilizations were here, like the Phoenicians, the Carthaginians, and the Romans and Spanish. Now we're headed to Iceland, where the northern lights are, Aurora Borealis. This here is a volcanic island with many glaciers and a really rugged landscape. Unlike most of the tropical islands, you're going to get a frozen tundra up here, very windy and cold, even in the summertime when they have the midnight sun. Located in the North Atlantic, the population is 350,000 people, with the majority of the people living in Reykjavik, the capital. You can actually do a full circle island tour in about 7 days, and that would be great if you do that. Next up, we're headed to Zanzibar, a island here in Tanzania, located on Far East Africa. This archipelago consists of several different islands, but two main ones, one being Zanzibar and the other one being Pemba. Well, here you will definitely find crystal clear blue waters, yet again, noticing a trend here. Also coral reefs and a national park known as the Jozani Chwaka Bay National Park, where a rare red colobus monkey exists. Thankfully, it is still considered a budget-friendly paradise, although they do have luxury resorts for you who are seeking that. Now we are in Turks and Caicos. This one is right next to the Bahamas and just north of Dominican Republic. It consists of over 40 islands and cays. The main one is Grand Turk and the other one is the islands of Caicos. That's why it's called Turks and Caicos. While you're here, you can explore the deserted beaches where it's just you and the crystal clear blue water. I mean, this is some of the purest water you will find. Yet again, that crystal clear water, colorful fish, turtles, and dolphins, really teeming with a lot of wildlife under the water. This area you're looking at here is known as Grace Bay, but the main area you will arrive is called Providenciales. We actually made a full travel guide about Turks and Caicos on this channel if you wanted to watch that. So don't forget to check the links below for those links to those videos, because that's going to help you make your trip plans more efficient. Now we're actually headed back to Indonesia, and we are in Bali, a volcanic island. They say these are Hindu relics and ruins of ancient temples, but other people say it's a little bit deeper than that. Either way, while here, you can go to Canggu, which is a popular place with partiers. Go to Monkey Forest out there in Ubud. I personally like to stay in Legion. And again, we did make a full travel guide about Bali if you wanted to see that. Many young people like to hang out at these beach clubs in places like Seminyak or Canggu, but they also have those water temples at ancient historical sites as well, which I like to do that, and also check out the volcanoes in the north. They have a few volcanoes on this island. Now we are actually headed to Mauritius. Located in the Indian Ocean just east of Madagascar, which is another fantastic island. Here you will find a UNESCO World Heritage Site for Indian indentured laborers. So there's a big melting pot of African, Asian, and European influences that you'll find here, but they have this big underwater waterfall that is actually in the ocean. You can see it from an airplane, which is very interesting. But they also have many beautiful beaches that go all around the island, as well as waterfalls inside of the many rainforest areas that they have. Anyways, guys, that's going to conclude this episode of Island Hopper TV's Best Islands. If you guys agree, or if we missed one, definitely drop a comment below shouting out your favorites. There's so many in the Caribbean that I didn't even mention also, and there's many around the world.